What is up, guys? Sam Dog, the infamous 253, once again joined by Dallas Stewart. Once again, another regular season coming underway. We are getting into week 1 week away from the Sunday games, and four days away from the kickoff game to start the season. Dallas, how you doing?
I'm doing good. The time is almost here.
Yep. Week 1 game picks. Finally happy to be doing this once again. And now this crazy weekend, too, with some of these college football games. I mean, some FCS upsetting FBS with the Montana Grizzlies last night upsetting the Huskies. And then you saw back on Thursday, you saw Eastern Washington upset UNLV. Not much of an upset there. And then Utah State, Bobby Wagner's alma mater, getting that victory in Pullman last night over Washington State college-wise. But now, let's get into NFL-wise. First off, the kickoff game. The Dallas Cowboys going up against the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Captain Tom Brady. Now, Tampa Bay, they were able to bring back all their starters in free agency because Tom Brady obviously restructured again. Well, maybe it could not have been that, but they were able to get their starters back. And Dallas Cowboys giving Dak Prescott that contract, and we didn't know how he was going to be. We didn't see him at all in the preseason with the injuries. But yep, defending Super Bowl champs. So let's see right here with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott excited to make return from injuries for week 1 game against Tampa Bay. Zach Martin tests positive for COVID-19. Will miss the regular season opener. But even with Zach Martin or not, I still don't think the Cowboys are going to be able to hang with the defending champs. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the kickoff game in Raymond James Stadium pretty good. I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well.
Yeah.
Too much firepower, I think. The stadium's going to be rocking.
Yeah, this time they got full capacity for fans, and how many of them are going to be wearing masks is the real question. So, yep, give us Tampa Bay Buccaneers opening up their season at home against the Dallas Cowboys to a pretty easy win, which regardless, I don't think the Cowboys were going to be able to hang with Tampa regardless. Up next, Sunday slate of games, the 10 a.m. slate. First off, our team, Seattle Seahawks, going into Indianapolis, taking on the Indianapolis Colts. We're still waiting to hear an official word on Carson Wentz, whether or not he's going to play. They say he's questionable, but he's been looking good, and we're going to probably most likely see Quentin Nelson. T.Y. Hilton out on injured reserve.
Big loss for them in the past game.
But they still got Michael Pittman. They still got Nyheim Hines at their running back. And then also they got freaking – who else they got?
Jonathan Taylor in the running game.
Jonathan Taylor from –
Wisconsin.
And then they got Marlon Mack, and then
back from injury.
And then on the defensive side, obviously Darius Leonard, who got a massive payday, one of the other best linebackers in the league. And then of course you got DeForest Buckner from
Oregon.
Yeah, Niners totally lost that trade last year.
Yeah.
They should never have traded DeForest Buckner. I still don't know what the hell they were thinking when they traded him. Colts quarterback Carson Wentz returns to practice, feeling optimistic heading ahead of the Seahawks week. Carson Wentz optimistic about starting Seahawks on week 1. Game in Lucas Oil Stadium. Now, us for the Seahawks made some new additions. We finally get to see Gerald Everett. And then Russell Wilson, who didn't play this preseason. Hopefully, we can get him back to cooking and got to get him better protection. Hopefully, Shane Waldron. We get our first true look now that Shane Waldron will most likely start opening up the playbook week 1 against Indianapolis. Hopefully, we get to see a lot of DK Metcalf and then see what Jamal Adams can do in year 2. Carlos Dunlap, we still haven't gotten any word yet on what's going to happen with Geno Atkins, but we did make some moves. We traded Ahkello Witherspoon to the Pittsburgh Steelers for a 5th-round pick in 2023. And then who knows, maybe we might surprise and bring up some of these guys that we got recently on waiver, like Nigel Warrior, which I remember Engraven Viz was a little bit bummed that the Ravens didn't hold on to him. But other than that, Seahawks-wise, the record against Carson Wentz, Seahawks-wise, we are 5-0 all-time against Carson Wentz, including playoffs. But now he's on another team. And Carson Wentz, even though he's on another team, we've seen him struggle against the Seahawks, even in the year that the Eagles won the Super Bowl, when we had the worst offensive line and, of course, the worst offensive line pretty much. But still, even with how good Philly was that year, back with Carson Wentz, how good Carson Wentz was doing, he struggled. He turned the ball over twice. One of them, he got stripped by Sheldon Richardson for a touchback, and then he threw that interception to Byron Maxwell late in the game, which pretty much sealed it for us. And that was a 10-point win that year too, I think.
I think it was a 14-point win.
Yeah.
In 17?
Yeah, 2017. But now Carson Wentz, Indianapolis Colts, reunited with Frank Reich, who was his offensive coordinator that same game back in Philadelphia 2017. It's going to be a tough game, but I still think we can get it done, and it will be a close battle. I'm going to take the Seahawks to get a close win in Indianapolis. Hopefully it's a good game. Hopefully we're the ones winning at the end.
Yeah, I'm going to take Seattle to win week 1. I think they'll have just enough. They have the better quarterback. So I like the better quarterback in this game.
And can Carson Wentz stay upright if he plays? Will he stay healthy, or will Jamal Adams or Carlos Dunlap put him back on the sideline again? Which obviously we don't want to see anybody get injured, but going to be a good game. Cannot wait for this one. Very anxious to get the season started, and hopefully we can start it off right, going 1-0 back-to-back seasons. All right.
That'd be 3 seasons in a row.
Yeah, 3 seasons in a row. Yep, back-to-back. Let me take a minute to take some sips of this Gatorade. All right, another game. Next game, the debut of Trevor Lawrence for the Jacksonville Jaguars as they go on to take on the Houston Texans with Tyrod Taylor starting at quarterback. Craziness going on with the whole Deshaun Watson thing, and obviously he's not happy. He still wants to be traded. We don't know if the Dolphins are going to pull the trigger on Deshaun Watson. I don't know if they will. It'll be interesting. We wait and see. We'll do a video about that if a move happens on Deshaun Watson. But Jacksonville Jaguars, they recently signed former Seahawks tight end Jacob Hollister, who was released by the Bills, and then Carlos Hyde, James Robinson, no Travis Etienne, out for the year.
Big loss. The rookie from Clemson.
Yeah. They got James Robinson going into.
They signed Marvin Jones in the offseason.
And they signed Shaquille Griffin in the offseason too, which he was not worth $40 million. Let's be real about that. This is the first, I would say, of the dumpster fireballs.
Yeah.
And
Houston's probably going to be one of the worst teams in the league.
Yep. And
I forgot they also traded Randall Cobb back to the Packers.
Yeah, and they still got Brandon Cooks, and
that's about it.
J.J. Watt is gone now.
Yeah, J.J. Watt is gone. That's a big loss for their defense.
Yep, man. And last year the Jags were 1-15. Will we possibly see the same thing from the Houston Texans, or could it be worse? Maybe we see the first 0-17 season. Maybe. And
Jacksonville had a surprise victory in Week 1 against the Colts, and then they managed to lose 15 straight.
And now Gardner Minshew, who used to be the starting quarterback, recently got traded to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Wow.
All right, but with that being said, this is really one of the first tough ones of these dumpster fire games. Let's see.
Yeah.
3 reasons the Houston Texans will beat Jacksonville Jaguars Week 1 poll. Should the Jaguars pick up running back Duke Johnson? AFC South preview: Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, Jacksonville Jaguars. Never mind. That's just some of the other shit that goes on around the league. But other than that, I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the rookie Trevor Lawrence to get his first win in his first regular season NFL game. I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, give me the Jags as well to start off 1-0 again.
Yeah.
So hopefully a different fate.
Yep. They pretty much tanked the rest of the season after last year's surprising win over Phillip Rivers and the Colts, which Phillip Rivers won his first high school game as a head coach 49-0. All right. Next game. Next game, we got the Philadelphia Eagles.
This is an interesting one.
The Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. Philadelphia, man, drafted Devontae Smith. We were watching the draft live when the Eagles jumped the Giants to take Devontae Smith, with Dallas helping them out. That surprising trade within the division.
Traded Carson Wentz in the offseason.
Yep, to Indianapolis, who we're most likely going to face Week 1. Atlanta Falcons, Julio Jones is no longer there. Drafted Kyle Pitts in the first round. I'll be interested to see how he does at tight end number 1. This is another tough game, man. So
and I heard Zach Ertz is on the trading block. We don't know how much longer he's going to be on.
I think Zach Ertz actually mentioned that he wanted to stay in Philadelphia. So Jalen Mayfield may start against the Eagles, and Arthur Smith knows it's not an easy first assignment. And then there's the rumors of the Zach Ertz trade rumors. DC Johnson Gannon on how he'll prepare to stop Falcons rookie Kyle Pitts. Yeah, I mean,
regardless, I think both of these teams are going to be awful this year. Falcons look like they're in full rebuild mode now.
pretty much. And the Eagles, man, see how Jalen Hurts does in year 2. And now that they got him a target in Devontae Smith, I cannot wait to actually see what Devontae Smith does for the Eagles. We didn't see a lot of him in the preseason because he was hurt. We saw a little bit of him in that New England game where they got blown out by New England in the preseason, but preseason's preseason. Now we get in the regular season, and it looks like Joe Flacco is going to be Jalen Hurts' backup. And then Atlanta, I think it's A.J. McCarron as the backup for Matt Ryan. But
I think, no, he was put on injured reserve, I heard.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know who the backup is.
Oh, man, this is the tough one. Are we going to have a split here maybe? Or
I'm going to take the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. I was leaning towards Atlanta as well. Matt Ryan. And now Mike Davis is now on the Falcons too. So we're going to go ahead and take a shot.
Not really an interesting matchup week 1.
Yeah, but it's kind of still a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
All right. Next game. We got the Los Angeles Chargers.
This is a sneaky good one.
This is Los Angeles Chargers going to Washington, taking on the Washington football team. Last year's winner of the NFC least.
Yeah.
With Chase Young winning the Defensive Rookie of the Year. And now the quarterback is Ryan Fitzpatrick. And then, of course, Los Angeles Chargers, Justin Herbert going into year 2. And then they got Asante Samuel Jr. in their secondary too, with Derwin James coming back. Melvin Ingram's gone, traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. What else?
Do they still have Keenan Allen?
They still have Keenan Allen, obviously. They weren't letting go of
There were so
Allen.
many. They blew 4 double-digit leads last year, the Chargers. Their record should have been a lot better than 7-9.
True.
Ended the season on a 4-game winning streak, so they had some momentum going into the offseason.
Granted, the Chiefs were resting the starters in the final week. All right. But regardless, I'm going to go with the team with the better quarterback. I am going to take the Los Angeles Chargers going to Washington and get a win in Washington. But this game could be sneaky good and could possibly go anyway, depending on how Washington's defense looks and if Ryan Fitzpatrick decides to be Ryan Fitzmagic.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take the Chargers.
I'm going to take the Chargers.
Yeah. All right. So both of us going LA Chargers. So
we won't be surprised if we get that game wrong, though.
Nah, probably not.
That's probably the toughest one to pick. Maybe.
All right. Up next, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers going into Buffalo to take on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. No one circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills. And man, last year's Steelers had that 11-0 start until losing to the Washington football team, which analyst said Pittsburgh was the worst 11-0 team last year?
Rob Parker.
Yeah. And then Buffalo Bills went all the way to the AFC Championship and fell to Kansas City after Kansas City made some mental errors in which the Bills capitalized on. Then after that, couldn't capitalize on it ever since, and the Chiefs were on to destroy them.
Bills beat them last year in the Sunday night in December.
I remember that too.
Part of the Steelers' collapse after the 11-0 start.
Yeah. I think Buffalo's still going to be better. I think Buffalo is one of my Super Bowl contenders in the AFC, obviously, along with Kansas City. But, man, I mean, Pittsburgh Steelers, they just added Melvin Ingram to their defense. And then who did they lose this? Oh, yeah, they did lose freaking Bud Dupree to the Tennessee Titans.
That's a big loss on their defense.
They added freaking Najee Harris from Alabama and let freaking James Conner walk, which James Conner's now in Arizona with the Arizona Cardinals. Man, I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills just to beat them again. I got the Buffalo Bills.
Give me the Bills to start off 1-0.
Yeah. All right. Next game. All right. Soon get down a little bit. San Francisco 49ers going to Detroit to take on the Detroit Lions and their new quarterback, Jared Goff, and new offensive lineman, Penny Sewell. Now, we don't know who's going to be starting yet for San Francisco. Will it be Jimmy Garoppolo or will it be Trey Lance?
That remains a mystery, I guess.
Yeah, but the Niners have everybody back healthy.
Yeah, they're healthy.
Yeah, and Detroit, they're probably still the same old Lions, but
they're probably going to – them in Houston probably going to be battling for the number 1 pick in the draft, in my opinion.
And they got they did add Michael Brockers, though. Detroit added some former Rams. Michael Brockers, Jared Goff, Nickel Roby-Coleman.
They lost Marvin Jones to the Jags. They lost Kenny Golladay to the Giants.
They traded Matthew Stafford to the Rams.
Yep.
I'm going to take the 49ers to make easy pickings of the Lions. Give me the 49ers.
Give me the 49ers.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we got the Minnesota Vikings going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals now getting Joe Burrow back healthy, which Joe Burrow got one of his studs from freaking LSU in the first round in a draft, reunited with another teammate, which
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase. And then the Vikings, how big of a year will Justin Jefferson have again this year? He had a pretty amazing year last year. Vikings obviously falling short and missing the playoffs.
Vikings had a disappointing year last year.
Which it pretty much all started when they choked away that game against our Seahawks.
On that Sunday night, yeah.
And then they got pistol whipped by the Falcons the following week. But I'm gonna go ahead. This is a pretty easy one. I'm gonna take the Minnesota Vikings to beat the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. So give me the Vikings.
Yeah, give me Minnesota. They have a lot easier opener than they did last year when they had to play Green Bay.
Yeah. Pretty much. That pretty much sums it up.
And I think Rodgers dropped a 40 burger on them.
Yeah, they pretty much did. Up next, we got the New York Jets.
An interesting one here.
The Jets taking on the Panthers. The debut game of Zach Wilson going up against the former New York Jet from USC, Sam Darnold.
Robert Sala's head coaching debut.
Yep. And then, of course, Robbie Anderson's revenge game.
Yep.
This will be a good game. I cannot wait to see the highlights of this one later on. I think this is going to be it's kind of a tough one.
It is.
Yeah, but
give me Carolina.
Yeah, give me Carolina.
They're better than the Jets.
Yeah,
I don't know how much better the Jets are going to be this year.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of a win improvement. Maybe 2 or 3 more wins than last year.
Maybe, but it'll be interesting to see how Zach Wilson does this first game, because remember the Jets did add Corey Davis too.
Oh yeah, that was a big addition to their receiving game.
They lost Carl Lawson for the year.
Jamison Crowder will be out because he tested positive for COVID.
Yeah, so is that another reason you say?
No, just Sam Darnold's going to be motivated.
Yeah, he's going to be motivated to take down his former team.
It seemed like the Jets didn't even really give Sam Darnold a chance.
Yeah, the Panthers didn't even really give David Moore a chance to release him, too. And now David Moore's with the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, up next, one of our division rivals, the Arizona Cardinals, who choked heavily.
Second half
of the season after losing to us after their big win against the Buffalo Bills, only to have a letdown, and then that basically started their downward spiral. And in the final 2 weeks, to make matters worse, they lose to CJ Beathard at home against the 49ers, and then they lost to John Wolford and the Rams, where Wolford didn't even throw a single touchdown pass.
And Murray got hurt in that game, which
pretty much doomed them.
Yeah.
And the Bears were able to back into the playoffs. Meanwhile, the Tennessee Titans, who I still think is another one of the big-time contending teams, Derrick Henry, and big-time acquisition of Julio Jones, which I was on my way back from New York City. I was in JFK Airport doing that video back at the check-in, if you remember that one, when Julio got traded to the Titans. And then, of course, you still have A.J. Brown from Ole Miss. DK Metcalf's former running mate at Ole Miss.
You lost Corey Davis.
Yeah, you lost Corey Davis.
But you added Julio Jones.
You lost Malcolm Butler, which Malcolm Butler actually retired and is on a retired reserve list for the Cardinals. And then
you added Bud Dupree for your defense.
Yeah. The game's in Tennessee. I'm taking the Tennessee Titans. I know the Cardinals added J.J. Watt and they
AJ Green and Malcolm. Oh, no, he retired. That's right.
Yeah, and then of course Arizona Cardinals still have freaking they have Chandler Jones, but we remember Chandler Jones requested a trade. But I think the Titans are the overall better team. We will see them contending again. I'm taking the Tennessee Titans.
Give me the Titans.
Yeah, I expect Derrick Henry to run wild on Arizona.
Yeah.
All right, and next game we got the Cleveland Browns.
The best game of week 1, in my opinion.
The Browns taking on the defending AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs, which Mahomes, after losing that Super Bowl, made a big restructure, and they were able to build a wall around him. They added Orlando Brown in a trade from the Ravens. They got the Rams' former center. Forgot what his name was. But fuck it. I mean, someone put it in the comments down
Rematch
below.
of the divisional round playoff game last year.
Yeah, where Mahomes got injured and Chad Henne basically was able to finish it out. Barely, though, that fourth down gamble. But the Cleveland Browns, they have nothing to hold their heads down on. They had a great year, managed to get in the playoffs when Pittsburgh rested their starters. A fatal mistake with what happened when they brought the starters back, and Cleveland was just more ready than they were and went to Pittsburgh and pulled that surprising win over the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Just a blowout until Pittsburgh was able to put up more points and kind of get back in it, but it was far too late by the time they got back in it. But I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to start out 1-0, but I think I'm not sleeping on Cleveland this year. I think Cleveland is going to be good for a long time, but I'm taking Kansas City Chiefs.
Give me Kansas City in a nail biter.
Nail biter?
I think it's going to be a close one.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good one. I think it will be awesome. I cannot wait to watch the highlights on that later on in the day. And how the hell is that not?
Yeah, that should be the Sunday night game in week 1, in my opinion.
Big time, man. Big time. All right. Up next, we got the Miami Dolphins, who we thanked 3 times last year for beating divisional rivals, which we were the only team to beat the Dolphins last year. Going to Foxborough, taking on the New England Patriots. Cam Newton is gone. Released. Mac Jones era in Foxborough has officially begun. And Mac Jones, he impressed in the preseason, man. And then the Patriots should be having a bunch of their guys back. Dolphins still with Tua. We'll see what happens this year. But they added Jalen Waddle in the draft from Alabama, one of his old teammates. And then they still got the defense. Still got a really good defense. We'll see how that's going to be. Lost Kyle Van Noy, back to the Patriots, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Anything else we should know on Miami?
10-6, but no playoffs last year because they got stomped in week 17 by the Bills.
Yep. Miami, they got it. That has to be the fire to their season. They had, especially after that impressive win they had in Las Vegas against the Raiders.
Yeah.
New England Patriots, man, I cannot wait to see what Mac Jones does in this game. I'm anxious to see him in week 1 with all the starters and just to see how ready he is. But
the Patriots made a bunch of moves in the offseason.
They added Hunter Henry. They added Jonnu Smith, Matt Judon.
Kendrick Bourne from the 49ers.
Kendrick Bourne from
Eastern Washington.
Yep. Kendrick Bourne from Eastern Washington. And they even also added Nelson Aguilar.
Yep, the former Eagle.
Who won the Super Bowl, oddly enough, against
the Patriots
in Super Bowl 52 with Nick Foles and the Eagles. Oh, man. I have a feeling
tough division game right here.
Yeah, I still never.
Give me Miami.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Miami week 1, but I would not be surprised if this game is good.
Because New England won last year in week 1 at home against Miami, but that was before Miami started to find themselves.
Yeah, and then of course COVID struck Cam Newton in that too. I'm gonna take Miami week 1, but still, this can go either way depending on how Mac Jones performs.
Yeah.
And I'm very anxious to see Mac Jones in that game.
So am I.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we got the Denver Broncos going to MetLife Stadium to take on Daniel Jones, Kyle Rudolph, Kenny Golladay, and the New York Giants with that loaded defense. I'm anxious to see what that defense is going to do this year. Granted, after what they did to us, though, I was really impressed with how the Giants defense is looking. That defense has a bright future.
It does.
Yeah, and the Denver Broncos, Von Miller's now back. Teddy Bridgewater now the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
And man, this is gonna be another good one and another but from experience in that too, I think Teddy Bridgewater is good. We'll see how he's really gonna be with Denver this year. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick the New York Giants to get the win in MetLife Stadium at home against the Broncos. It could go either way, but I'm going to side and take New York. Give me the Giants.
Give me Denver because they have a better quarterback.
Ooh, split. A split.
And right. I think they upgraded quite a bit at quarterback. Denver did.
Got to give the fans what they want, right?
Yep.
Good old, nothing but a split. Fine.
Yep.
All right, so there's your first shocker. Dallas going Denver. Me going Giants in this one. All right, up next, we got the last of the 1 p.m. slate of games. We got the Green Bay Packers taking on the New Orleans Saints in Jacksonville because of the flooding from Hurricane Ida. Pray for those people in New Orleans. Hope everything gets all right soon, and hopefully the Saints can get back to the Superdome. The thank goodness part was at least the Superdome was not badly damaged like Hurricane Katrina did back in 2005. But yeah, Jameis Winston, now the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. And then Aaron Rodgers, this season has a last dance feel to it for the Green Bay Packers. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
But still, regardless of it, I'm going to side with the Packers and take the better quarterback with the better team, with the better loaded receivers like Devontae Adams and Marquez Scantling, Allen Lounge Lazard.
Yeah, Leaping Lounge Lazard.
And then who did they add in the draft again? Who did they add in the draft again? They added a really good receiver. Someone named him down in the comments. I forgot. But
yeah, and the Saints are without Michael Thomas for like the first half of the season.
Yeah.
Will Lutz is injured. I think the Saints are now in rebuild mode. The post-Drew Brees era. Yeah,
they might feel it. It took a little bit for New England to feel the post-Tom Brady era. I mean, take their effect when they started losing games. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I'm taking the Packers. This could be a blowout for Green Bay.
Yeah, Saints once again playing homeless like they did in 2005 after Katrina, but it's understandable because of hurricane. It's not like San Francisco where they basically got kicked out by Santa Clara County and played the rest of their games homeless. Granted, they got their only last road win at Arizona when Arizona was a home team. Granted, Arizona was letting them rent their spot for a while the COVID mess was being handled in Santa Clara, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Sunday Night Football, the first one. The Chicago Bears taking on the Los Angeles Rams. Why the fuck are the Bears not starting Justin Fields?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Makes no sense at all. This is easy. Rams win big against the Bears.
Yeah, give me Rams big.
Yeah.
Bears sneaked into the backdoored their way into the playoffs last year, only because the Cardinals lost to the Rams in Week 17.
And of course, they lost to the 49ers Week 16 too.
Yeah.
Of course, when they were the home team and the Niners were homeless last year.
Yeah.
All right. Last but not least, we got the first Monday Night Football game. Surprisingly, no doubleheader for Monday Night Football this year. I'm kind of bummed about that. I like when they did 2 Monday night games at the beginning, but all right. The Baltimore Ravens going to Allegiant Stadium, taking on the Las Vegas Raiders.
The Raiders had a second half collapse last year.
Yep.
Just like the Cardinals.
Lamar Jackson and the Ravens hoping with Mark Andrews and that defense.
They had another disappointing playoff exit.
Yep.
To the Bills.
To the Buffalo Bills in the divisional. Got revenge on Tennessee in the
wild card round, which I got the wild card split, right?
Yes, you did. And they did lose Matt Judon, though.
Yeah, that's a big loss for their defense.
And the Raiders, of course, they added former Seahawk KJ Wright.
Yeah.
And then I think they released Carl Joseph. The Raiders, they made some interesting moves. We'll see how it pans out for them. But
big year for John Gruden.
Big year. Is freaking Derek Carr on the hot seat at all?
I think they both are.
Yeah. But remember, Gruden still has a bunch of years left in that
big contract.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take – it's a tough one. This is kind of a tough one to pick because we don't know who's going to show up. And Derek Carr showed up big in the first 2 games last year too, especially when they beat the Panthers and then when they pulled the upset over the Saints last year to win the first game at Allegiant Stadium. Yeah. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens to get a win in Las Vegas against the Raiders. It's a tough game. Could be close, could go either way. Wouldn't be surprised if I got this one wrong, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Baltimore.
Give me Baltimore.
All right. And there you have it. That is our Week 1 game picks. Got Buccaneers over Cowboys, Seahawks over Colts, Jaguars over Texans, Falcons over Eagles, Chargers over Washington football team, Bills over Steelers, 49ers over Lions, Vikings over Bengals, Panthers over Jets, Titans over Cardinals, Chiefs over the Browns, Dolphins over the Patriots, split on Broncos and Giants, with me picking the Giants and Dallas picking the Broncos, Packers over the Saints, Rams over the Bears, and Ravens over the Raiders. And that is our Week 1 picks. Drop your picks down in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notification. Football is finally back, and we
the
are
first full NFL Sunday next Sunday.
hell.
Cannot wait.
Hell
Been waiting
yeah.
8 months for it.
Yes, we have. All right. Catch y'all later in the next one. If you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. And as always, go Seahawks.